Important detail on InfoWars today at 1 hour, or excuse me, 1 hour and 26 minutes in, he interviews, I think it's Dr. Bartlett. This particular physician explains to those of you who are still confused, you're behind the learning curve, you've been told all sorts of garbage, your head is really confused, okay? For those of you that are still there, please go listen to the doctor explain to Alex Jones how the plasmid situation of getting the pathogen into the DNA actually works. Now, when you're listening to this physician explain how these biolabs are handling their testing, here's what you need to now get in, not maybe in front of the learning curve, but welcome to the Synergy channel so you understand why you and or rather probably your loved ones have been trying to explain to you how the biomedical telemetry of making your DNA do something you don't want it to do. Have you ever heard of CRISPR-Cas9? Yeah. And have you heard about optogenetics? That's where a light beam is shined into your face, whether your eyeballs pick up on it or not. And then it changes your DNA inside of you in real time. So what we have is we have a bunch of people who ran psychological operations on the United States and lied about what our Department of Defense has been busy building pathogens and databases for. Now, part of the easiest way for you to understand after listening to this physician how real this is, and I wish to point out, I mentioned this yesterday, and this doctor tells you, yep, this was 2 months ago. That's what I said. I said, I'm like, 6 weeks, was it that Hey Ace, the nurse on our channel, already reported on this? Yeah. And like the doctor finishes up once he explains it, he's like, why would they let this go live in Colorado? Oh, I don't know, Charter Communications, now Spectrum selling 2.4 dots in 2021, early 2022. Why Colorado? Confused people, just ignore that. Here we go. So we have something called COV-WBAN. If you haven't looked that up, Google fingers, you should. The Electronic Integrated Disease Surveillance System, that's something our CDC uses since 1988. The app you want to look for is called Bioconductor, okay? And what that does is it lets our Department of Energy and the IRS, that's who's using this stuff right now for Marburg and Ebola on little apps. Here on the channel, we already talked about this a couple months ago because we had a nurse who brought it to our attention. Hey, they've gone live with the Ebola pathogen. They already have apps on their phone talking about it on the Reddit, ready to go with companies. Hand it out, Department of Energy, IRS, DHS, FBI. Now, if you don't know that your body is connected to the cloud, number one. Number two, you don't know about optogenetic networks. You've been busy hanging out with MUFON and all the people who've been paid to keep everyone stupid, believing that the same doctors and nurses and police and law enforcement who've been using these biofrequency surveillance systems. Check it out. Electronic integrated disease what? Surveillance system? Yeah. How does it work? Cybersecurity. Does that surprise you? Not if you're on this channel, it doesn't. So, 1 second. I want to make sure my signs are in the proper order. COV-BAN, IOTW-BAN. Look it up. Why? Because it gives them the ability with that software to log in and modify your polynucleotides, your DNA, anything they want to. Nano barcoding, luciferase. Oh, but I wasn't injected. That doesn't matter. Starting to see how the Synergy channel edumacation was kind of important, huh? Yeah, because now we've got a fuck ton of people out there going, I don't understand. If they release Ebola, but they have a pathogen, they made, like you heard the news bullshit you. Oh, we have a vaccine for it. Tell me how your vaccine works. You're not going to do that. No fucking way. They're not going to tell you that it works by them electrically logging into your DNA and making changes to your genome. Artificial precision healthcare. Nah, they don't need to tell you that. You know why? Because you laid down for the COVID. So now everyone for 5 years has been being logged in and out of with their biosensors. Why? Electronic integrated disease surveillance. That's why a couple months ago, a bunch of your big heads and creators, this is the Synergy Tech Metric PDF with Robin Williams' face on it. And right away in the beginning, it says the effects of coronavirus worldwide through misusing of wireless sensor networks. Yeah. When we electrocute the human body and we do it repeatedly for cybersecurity, that drags electricity out of the red blood cells. That drags electricity out of the human electrical homeostasis. Oh, but they don't know. They know since 1995. And they definitely know since the COVID because it's their job. Project Salus, what did we learn? Oh, well, that would be the Artificial Intelligence Symposium back in September 2020, where your Department of Defense told everybody to use AI in everything they do with Project Salus. Now, tell me how. Here we are again. So here on the channel, I've been explaining that the body is electrical, okay? And that we've been routing electrical signals through your body by handing video game remotes to young nerds. They go climb in their CBRN secure skiff and fire electrical signals on unsuspecting population. And then you go, oh, I think I've heard of that. Yeah, Amazing Polly, Red Rwanda, or anybody who was in the Gulf War. Oh, it's voice of God weapons. Nope. Sorry, but we don't use a big old wave. Not anymore. We have bioelectromagnetic algorithms. Again, Synergy Tech Metric PDF, it's a free download. And those bioelectromagnetic algorithms are running through the same wireless working group as your phone. Gross. Yeah. Playing human bodies like a video game, routing computer network data through human bodies. For what? Well, if we've got a CoV-W ban, we're using electronic integrated disease surveillance. We're looking under your skin. Sure are. Nano.gov, 20 years, nanoavionics, etc. All I asked of you physicians and people doing this, tell them their body is electrical. Tell them they are attached to the cloud. Why? Because you people at the Department of Defense and all of you that have been running these ops, you know what the kill box is. Everybody does. Since 2005. Why? Let me show you. It's so easy now to talk about, isn't it? It's 802.15.5. No, actually, it's 802.15.4. And you would think that by now people would want straight answers. They would no longer want to be told, yeah, it's not a vaccine if it requires graphene. So what's this field? This electromagnetic, electrical field that every human has and is why we're biochemical electrical beings. What is it? The aura. Yeah. What are you using it for? Biomedical telemetry, aim and fire. Have an instant heart attack, have an instant stroke from my phone. Now, these things are not unknown. I started out this video explaining they're on the Reddit. This Ebola pathogen discussion, you can hear about it from Todd Callender. If you don't tell people what you've been busy doing in vivo, in situ, since 2005, because you're such an incredible what? You're really good at lying and gaslighting. Congratulations. Now, could you please tell people how you do your job? Open shortest path first. Cybersecurity. There's your Amazon shipping with permission to do it from the DoD. Now, you don't even know that body part is there. You don't know about the cybersecurity inside of you. Oh, who does? Your doctors and nurses and everyone who's using these systems. They have to. It's mandated by international law. You heard me. Pardon my nose. International law is not the same as, oh, we're going to get the 702 in the Senate. Nobody cares. Did they, Spy State? So the problem is real simple. Where's your aura? I don't know. It's religious. I have no idea what you're talking about. You're stupid. Doesn't exist. You're nuts. Take drugs. Over here, Internet of Bodies, Internet of Things, information surveillance and reconnaissance, neural modulation, Project Salus, watching every synaptic response of every neuron body-wide at 5100 bits, storing it in an NSA database. Medical implant communication system out of the 50s, 60s, and 70s, shoving RFID chips in humans, worse than animals. Your radiologists, oh, you mean your nurses and doctors and your EMS staff, 4 levels of law enforcement, 4 secret levels of doctors and nursing and EMS to do whatever they want with human bodies. As of March 2023, ODNI, United States, ABC News, we have no idea what you're talking about. There is no such thing as information surveillance and reconnaissance. There is no such thing as electronic integrated disease surveillance. There's no such thing as the IoT Cove Band W-band. There's no such thing as sensors open systems architecture and applied electrical signal technology for high accuracy detection exploitation system with L3 Harris and Raytheon, or modular open system architecture and approach, or the missing one here, OSA, optogenetics. Put a light in your face, do whatever we want to your DNA. Now, if you knew that, and you've been here on the channel, you downloaded the documentation, read it for yourself, if you'd seen the Emergent Technology College textbook that I've been showing for a year and a half, you already know. And you're like, oh my God, they're good to go. Yeah, they are. The World Health Organization, doctors and nurses, our own Federal Communications Commission, and the FDA mandated the ability with Project Salus after your convid. They get to log in and out of you for telehealth right now today. They've been doing it for 4 or 5 years, but they're still lying to everybody, telling them they're just so stupid. They have no idea what they do when they go to work. What are you doing when you go to work? Well, it ain't a vaccine if it requires graphene, but graphene sure as fuck makes the login easier with what? All the nanotechnology they've been shoving in the air, the food, the water, and everything else, including you if you got injected. These are the small computer networks that they're using, a whole fuck ton of them, right there, right in the air, right through you, right next to you. These are jobs. And nobody wanted to talk about that. They didn't want to talk about the jobs involved with your biolabs. So if the national news is going to go out there and bullshit and tell people we don't have a pathogen mutagen database, oh, we don't? I think we do. And I think we've got plenty of cybersecurity too, in order to ensure for doctors and nurses, for their telehealth apps mandated by our FDA and FCC in 2014. I think all of you know exactly what you're doing and how you're watching the electricity. You mean the diseases that you are engaging in people. Oh. How could that be? Because you didn't tell people what you were doing when you went to work in 1995. Everything you see in this little graph, go look it up. Body Area Network, Wikipedia. Go look it up in the machine learning. Same thing. Medical Body Area Network, same thing. Optogenetics. Kaboom, kaboom. You looked in someone's eyes. They walked too close to you. These circles represent mathematical radius. Not MUFON, not little green men, legitimate bioelectromagnetic frequency in mathematics. For what? You. This is the Morse circle math of your blimps. There's one right there. And here's the electromagnetic bouncing it back and forth. For what? Red Rwanda. Oh yeah, Amazing Polly told us all about it. Sure did. She did. She told everybody, your energy is coming out of you. Energy harvesting, piezoelectric. That's right. Bioelectromagnetic algorithms. Same math. I said math. I didn't say ghosts. And I didn't say aliens. Here's your biosensors, just a few examples of how they work. Yeah, they work off of you. They work off of human tissue. Human body communication, physical layer, nanotechnology, polaritons, changing the direction of electron shell valences and air molecular construction. And our quantum has its own periodic table. What'd you tell people? You told them that Professor Achilles doesn't exist. Good job. So tell me, if you have a bioelectromagnetic algorithm and you got a bunch of young nerds using headsets like this one with EEG, cognitive threat warfare technology, Giordano, Georgetown University, logging in and out of you with the new Ebola pathogen. Is she live? We know because they've been practicing and talking about it on the Reddit and Bioconductor for the CDC. electronic integrated disease surveillance system. Oh, so we're routing computer data through human bodies. That's right. What'd you tell people? So now they see from their mainstream news, no, we're developing an Ebola vaccine just in case. Meanwhile, the DOD damn well knows they're going to get in your face one way or another. And we're not allowed to talk about it because that's your 3-point pulse that people like Attorney Todd Callender and everyone's been talking about since 2009 when they started complaining because Obama's admin said we need death panel databases with our full spectrum electromagnetic dominance in preparation for Agenda 2030. Now, me being me, I wanted to know how. So combinatoric math on combinatoric synthesis brain imaging libraries, like our friend Bill, that La Quinta La Columna talked about, which I'll do. Oh, they're crazy. Yeah, they're just nuts. That nobody would do that. And if they did, they would tell us. Like they told us when they built the stealth bomber. And I said, you're all lying. Here's our brain imaging library, Bill, looking through the air molecules of you. And then we have our CRISPR-Cas9. If your DNA is naked, we can wrap it in a protein, transcriptomes, proteomics. These are degrees in universities for 8 years, 5 years, 6 years. And nobody said a word. All of you went to work. Now the pathogens and the mutagens are available to anybody who has direct communication with our Department of Defense, the Joint Artificial Intelligence Commission, from September 2020, Get AI, and everything we do, we have web portals available for you to log into their body directly. No different than Rwanda, only it's individual. It's not an internet of bodies. It's a W band, not plural, singular. And why would that be? Well, how else can we offer AI precision healthcare if we're just throwing a big signal at 5 or 6 people? We don't know what we're doing. That's not precise. So we have 3 levels of cybersecurity, and all of this is built for telehealth. All of this is built for your health. So tell me why you keep telling the synergists they're stupid and crazy. Tell me why none of the big heads, including your Karen Kingston, etc., can talk about real cybersecurity in your bone and tissue right now. It's for your health. That's a little ambulance. It's for your health. Those are your doctors. It's for your health. This is the hospital. It's for your health. So why do you keep telling those of us who read Pentagon directives in college textbooks and real DOD pathogen testing with Patel and Oak Ridge and all of this transhumanism? You think people would be pissed if they knew that you'd already augmented a fuck ton of yourselves? Do you think they'd be upset to know that the way to kill them is sitting on the side of their house? Do you think that they would be upset to know that they wake up one day to their loved ones bleeding on the floor, but they're still alive some more? Yeah. And I think it's disgusting that 5 years in, here we sit, blind as bats, watching all of this go on that you talked about amongst yourselves wide open. There was no maybe here. That says Project Maven. Transcript with Secretary of Defense Mark Esper is right now on the channel. Go read it for yourself. Same data. That's what happens when you lie about hardware and software. That's what happens when you lie about cybersecurity with bioelectromagnetic algorithms that are provable from electrical engineers. 2020. Here's your little video game controllers. Aren't you heroes? You get to go lie to everybody and ignore all the mathematics that people like my relatives wrote, and you automate it through the 80s and 90s. Just lie. Just tell them it's the aliens again. Meanwhile, in cybersecurity in the 6G low personal area network, your body may or may not be chosen by machine to machine. That's machine learning with a vehicular ad hoc on-the-fly network. If the drone determines the signal to your bone is concurrent by your biofield to the target. Oh, so the signal routes through your body if you're in the way or if you're more viable than something else. It's automatic. It's machine learning. No human involved. See, that's cybersecurity. Wouldn't that have been nice to know? Block, shock, shunt, and shield, the Lord rebuke thee, get out of my biofield, is something that I built based off of block, absorb, and enhance, and bend the wave for the metamaterials that are running all over in the air molecules. It wasn't something I came up with as some whacked out new age weirdo. Cymatics, kinetics, breath, angular momentum. When we ignore universities like Rutgers and Cambridge and all the rest, and we pretend we're smarter than MATLAB, and that everything was skintronics, bioelectronics, electroceuticals, designer drugs, and AI precision healthcare for anti-aging, immortality research, life extension, and regenerative medicine, it's not real. They won't really do it. They're going to school for it. They're pumping out tons of data for it. But you sit there and pretend, no, it's not happening. Whoever it is that is still sitting there lying to you, turn them off for their own health, because all of these systems are built off of you. Your DNA is what's routing that signal. No babies. So until you're willing to confront the real problem, the emperor has no biofield. These are bioelectromagnetic electrical weapons on databases. So who has your DNA? And how do you find out? Because one thing's for sure, your health ranger has to know for his business, medical, industrial, and scientific. Anybody selling satellite and bitty stick. So why is it that none of the men could stand up and tell anybody? Because they're going to war with one another, with what weaponry and AI they already have. Duh. So why not tell all your red and brown shirts everywhere what's going on? Gee, I wonder. Google fingers, it's a real thing. CRISPR-Cas9, yeah, it's real. DERPSys, how does it work? Advanced signals technology with sensors open system architecture for information surveillance and reconnaissance. No hee-haw. Your industrial electrical engineers are your new physicians. They will rearrange your DNA to the position they want it to be. You lied about quantum technology. You lied about the human body being electrical. You tethered people to the cloud. You load balanced and tested the biosensors since 2005. Now for 5 years, 2 years after the industrial cyber physical backbone were people who were already playing with all this, augmenting themselves, etc. Now you've augmented the whole world for anyone who took the shot. And for those of us who are still saying, no, I do not want to be a cyborg, you just call us crazy and keep going to college and keep going to work. Without an intellectual dialogue, I hold up the routing protocols right here for your BLE. And you all hump up on the BitChute and watch people lie to you and say, oh, I have no idea how it works. Then how do we have all these different routing protocols? Jerks. Because these are the metaheuristic machine learning algorithms that tether to the wireless body area network protocols directly to the body. And these are all the specialized protocols that work with all these protocols and these machine learning algorithms to make a change in the air molecules via the BLE. Looks like math to me, because I told the truth about jobs. So now, over in Denver, I'm not surprised. This is Rutgers University, 2005 or 7 or whatever. Omnet W-band, 7 years on the YouTube. All our young nerds go to biolabs like Battelle. Believe me, I would know. And then they practice logging in and out of you. It's their job. I've tried everything I know how to do to get those of you out there to admit this so that people have a chance to figure out mitigation. Here we are. So I'm telling you now, go watch the Alex Jones clip. I'll leave it here for you. It's on the BitChute. From today, stop telling people that they can just wish, fart, hope, and dream all of this away. Explain to them they were lied to so that the transhumanists could take over 80% of your immune system and have full control of you down to your bone marrow for anything they want to do. Period. That's why we had the 4 circles of hell. What are psionic abilities? Telepathy, empathy, precognition. Nobody knows. It's just neurons in your body. What is the biofield, the human aura? Oh, nobody knows. What are cryptids? That would be synthetic biology that got a little out of control with the electrical homeostasis of a human. Yeah. So it would behoove everybody if you could get out of your own way and explain those pathogens and mutagens are fucking with in Denver with the Ebola. That's for everybody. We've been watching it, like I said, GitHub, Reddit. They're all talking about it with Bioconductor for Project Maven. And if you want to know what Sensors Open Systems architecture looks like, those are all the biosensors they're using inside of you for energy harvesting. It's how you power your coffee pot and in your 15-minute city. Gigahertz to terahertz, terahertz to gigahertz. It's the biodigital convergence. And here's your little nerds in 2012, nice and secure, with their Xbox controller, looking in your veins and arteries and in your tissue and doing whatever they want to you because it's machine learning. They don't always have control, but the databases and the artificial intelligence does. Oh, but they would have told us. They didn't. Those of us on the channel, we tried to warn you multiple times. Other people over the years before I got here tried to warn people. It's called a Pentagon directive. You don't get out of it by closing your eyes and clicking your heels. Nice try. So do you think now it's time to tell people about that W-band presentation I did a year ago showing Project Maven with MQ9 logging into their bone? I told you she a big bird with a lot of payload. Why do we have one MQ9 to every single American citizen? Just asking questions because you took people's choice away when you did this. And you all know better. You just love sitting up there and gaslighting, playing stupid, knowing that everyone else who's decent, they don't want to believe that you betrayed them. I'm tired of the death. Tell the truth to your own beginning or end. God bless America. Mark 5:36. Amen.